Hosting during a major event should mean a big payday, right? But if you set your rates too high, too early, or panic and drop them too soon, you could be losing serious money. Let's fix that. From concerts and sports to rallies and conventions, events can send demand for short-term rentals through the roof. But just hiking up your nightly rate isn't a winning strategy. In fact, a lot of hosts leave money on the table because they don't understand how demand builds, or when to raise or hold firm on pricing. Hey there, I'm Dustin with AirDNA, and in this video, I'll walk you through step-by-step pricing strategy for event weekends using real data. You'll learn how to avoid the most common mistakes, ride the booking wave, and use pricing insights to make smarter decisions that directly impact your bottom line. Let's set the record straight. Pricing for an event isn't just about charging more. It's about when you raise prices and by how much. Travelers book in waves, and each wave creates its own opportunity to earn. Here's what typically happens. Some hosts raise prices way too soon, scaring off early bookers who are ready to commit. Others panic when their calendar is still empty a month before the event and start slashing rates right before the biggest surge in demand hits. So instead of reacting emotionally, your pricing decisions need to follow data. Because when you understand how demand builds around events, you can time your price changes perfectly. And that's where the real money is made. Pricing data is your cheat code. It shows how many nights are already booked for an upcoming event compared to the same time last year. If bookings are ahead of schedule, demand is building faster, and that's a green light to raise your rates, or at least hold firm. If pacing is behind, it might feel like time to panic, but don't. Most events follow a similar trend. Demand picks up sharply closer to the event date. Let's take the 2025 Sturgis Motorcycle Rally as an example. In February, 6 months out, bookings were already ahead of the previous year. That told hosts early demand was strong. And the biggest spike? The night before the rally. Travelers were locking in that one night early, meaning you should have been priced higher right from the start. Now let's talk about demand lift. This measures how much extra booking activity an event generates over normal nights. Why does this matter? Because if you're seeing demand lift 6 months out, that's a clear sign to raise your rates early. With Sturgis 2024, demand lift was obvious. Event nights were booking faster and further out than the normal regular weekends. That means the event was pulling demand forward and creating urgency among travelers. But here's the key insight. Non-event weekends still book late. So if your calendar looks empty 4 months out, that's normal. Don't drop rates prematurely. The lesson here, let demand patterns, not your nerves, guide your pricing. Trust the data. Booking waves are real and predictable. For big events, you'll typically see 3. The first wave comes from early birds. These are guests who plan vacations nearly a year in advance. Setting a competitive but firm base rate helps you catch these bookings without undervaluing your property. The second wave usually happens around big event milestones. Think ticket releases, artist lineups, or schedule drops. If you're tracking event news, you'll know when to raise rates just before demand spikes. And the final wave? That's the last minute surge. Often 20 to 30% of bookings happen in the final month before the event. This is when travelers are willing to pay top dollar, if your listing is still available, of course. So pricing isn't a one-time decision. It's a rhythm. Follow the wave. Lead time is how far ahead guests are booking. For Sturgis 2024, the median lead time was 162 days. That's nearly half a year. So by March, half of the travelers had already booked. But here's what's really interesting. 20% of bookings came in the final 3 weeks. That late stage demand is where you cash in. If you haven't already lowered your price out of fear, the takeaway, a quiet calendar months in advance isn't a red flag. It's just part of the event pricing curve. Let's cover the biggest pricing mistakes hosts make, because avoiding these can immediately boost your revenue. Mistake number 1, dropping prices too soon. Remember, demand builds in waves. If bookings are slow now, a surge could be coming. Mistake number 2, watching competitor pricing instead of demand data. Average daily rate, or ADR, fluctuates, but doesn't always reflect traveler behavior. Demand does. Mistake number 3, pricing all nights the same. The night before an event often sees the biggest spike. Price it accordingly. Mistake number 4, holding out too long. If bookings are significantly behind last year's pace, small adjustments can help avoid last-minute vacancies without resorting to deep discounts. Dynamic pricing tools can be helpful, but they're not perfect for events. Most algorithms are too conservative and don't anticipate event-specific surges. AirDNA's pricing recommendations are different. They track real pacing and booking data in your local market, helping you time your pricing based on actual demand, not a static formula. You stay in control and never miss your chance to charge more when it matters most. With AirDNA Pro, you get access to rate recommendations, historical booking trends, pacing comparisons, and real-time insights on how your area is performing. That means you can raise your prices before the crowd catches on. Think of it as your event pricing command center, giving you the confidence to act early, hold firm, or adjust as needed. No guesswork, no panic, just smart strategy. Event pricing is part science, part strategy. If you can track the wave and ride it confidently, your short-term rental can become a revenue machine every time an event hits your town. Have you ever nailed or missed your event pricing? Share your experience in the comments. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe for even more short-term rental data and insights. See you in the next video.